I friggin' love that song. We get in a groove as we're coming in. Hey guys, welcome to your daily fix. Let's fix together. It's safer from NFA OFC, not financial advice. That's not what we're doing here. Of fucking course. Check us out on YouTube if you guys are on X right now, because there you can leave comments and stuff, and then we can actually chat with you a little bit. Tonight, as usual, money flow cycle, market cap, dominance, Bitcoin, and ETH gives us a heads up on how money is moving in the market so we make more educated, smarter decisions, especially with the group that we're creating here. They're pretty awesome. And then Pope will take over from there and tell us what he wants to chat about today. I think he's being quite ambitious, and I'm ready for the journey. Senor Pope.
I made it. I'd like to thank the Bunny Wyatts. I am, as you may or may not know, on the road right now on beautiful Vancouver Island, and at my condo, the internet kind of sucked. They welcomed me into the home to do the show, and I'm excited about it. If you've been in our Discord, you've been following, you're going to see I have, since the wee hours of last night, been literally watching the market cap on the 30s. I've been posting it on the 4 hours and stuff in our Discord. And I found a bunch of trades. I'm excited. We are in position to go off to the races, as they say.
Like when? Are you talking about, like, I know we're gonna do it after the show, but are you talking about within the next 4 hours, one more candle, something like that? We're gonna get into it?
I don't know. Let's dig in.
Oh, wild.
Let's actually try and figure this out. I went through all of our lists. I have close to 200 trading pairs right now that I'm analyzing, and I'm just looking for good entries. These are either smaller micro caps, great, or large or large established tokens. I'm more looking for, where can we make our money? Where's the money shifted? Where has the attention been lacking? Because if you've been following us since we've started, we've hit some absolute bangers from January, and these pullbacks that we've been having, healthy, natural, and needed. And what that does is that creates opportunity in other trading pairs. So let's jump into, first of all, where's the money in the market? How is that money moving? And then let's look at how we can capitalize on it with a few trades. So as we always do, the total market cap is the money flowing. And we've been waiting for this. And this is where we were quite nervous, because this here fired, and we could have easily come down to these levels. We had a massive, good, quick dip, ironically, right to that line. I mean, like, we do these trend lines quick and dirty, and you can see that wick came right down to it. And now, granted, this, hindsight being 2020, would have been the perfect entry in a lot of spots. But we don't have all the information to know, is it going to go lower? I want to trade sensible. That's the whole point of all of this. We're not chasing meme or shits. Sure, that's part of the budget, but the big picture is trading smart. And we now know money is flowing in. Plus, we got a bullish cross. We got the 1 hour a while ago, right? About, where are we at? 5 hours ago. Well, that's the 1 hour, and now we're starting to have some stabilization on the one. We've been looking at the fours because we've been making this triangle on our micro bear and our micro bull indicator. And this is telling us money is leaving the market. And we know money leaves, prices go down. And shorting in a bull is foolish. So if you're long-term trading, none of this matters. The little dips here and flow throughout the weeks and the months doesn't matter. But if you've been joining us for the swing trades on the days or the weeks, this matters. We are now in a 4 hour to the upwards position. And we gained that just a little bit ago. This candle here, 4 hours ago, and we didn't get it till it closed. And if you've been in our Discord, I kept saying we're going to wait. Well, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait because I want that extra confirmation right now because there's so much going on in our market. And it doesn't mean we're going to pump all the way up to our next level of resistance at 2.56 trillion. We might take steps up, but we got the micro bull. Down here on stochastic, the amount of edits on that word for Primo. I'm so sorry.
I know it's a hard one.
Oh, down here on stochastic, it's been saying money's coming in, and now we're off. And if you look at where this happened, we've had the trend of upward action of money flowing into the market. People wanted to be cool with the CPI and the PPI numbers, as we mentioned also in the Discord. Lately, they've been nothing burgers. In fact, we've been getting the entries before them, and then shortly after, we've been taking off. So if you grabbed entries earlier today at better price points, power to you, man. That's awesome. I play a little safer. I like to wait for multiple points of confluence. So the market cap is looking healthy for money to flow back in. Dominance, I mean, do I really need to enlarge? Like, we're off. So money's coming in and it's flowing into Bitcoin. It's been flowing out of alts into Bitcoin because of the uncertainty of the CPI and the PPIs. Anytime there's any little level of anxiety, for lack of better words, in our market, the money goes right back to Bitcoin. Or it goes right back to Bitcoin and then it leaves. But a lot stayed in. And that was a very healthy sign. And it was very nice to witness, to add more confluence to my decisions over the next, few days. We're back to what I say, off to the races. And when we look at, when we look at what Bitcoin's been doing, this is huge. So we knew we were in a bullish pendant. We've come up and we're bouncing around in this triangle. We wanted to come out, retest it, and go. But we still, as I've moved this before, need to retest, break our all-time high, come down, settle on it, and then go. All of this still holds true. But look at where we are right now on the daily. We're above this freaking line. We're above our trend. Now, we haven't adjusted to make up for wherever we were before on our past, but we're looking great. And even when I talk about these retracements and be cool and prices are going down, I've always said I'm still very bullish. Money is coming in. We know nothing goes up straight, nothing goes down straight. There's all these ebbs and flows. This is perfect. We have been doing really well with our calls on Bitcoin and our Ethereum since we've started these shows 64 shows ago. You can go back and check. We can't screw it up. Can't fake it. It's sensible data and what's going on in the market, and understanding how the tools we use really work to make us better decisions. Ignore the echo chambers. Ignore the Twitter feed for the most part. I would say 95% is garbage. But we are in very healthy position. We've turned from a sell. We're coming down. This is good on Bitcoin. And this is on the daily. On the 4 hour, last candles when we got across. And we're off. And we talked about all that liquidity being down here yesterday. And look what happened. All that liquidity got eaten up. If you are following the news, you're probably noticing now it's who has the more Bitcoin, Grayscale, BlackRock, whatever it all is. And it sounds like a pissing contest. It's fabulous. Now, don't get overly excited. We're going to have a pullback here soon. We've come from 5% in 12 hours. That's huge for Bitcoin. And that's the current price. We even, we made it higher. Makes sense. We've had a pullback. Holding this trend are quick and dirty. That's a drink. I just learned the Bunny Wyatt household, when I say quick and dirty, became a drinking game.
No
Love
way.
Yeah. It's like my brother always says, off to the races. So now we have two drinking game, off to the races and quick and dirty.
I can't handle that much alcohol, Pope.
Well, this is Diet Coke for the record. But,
That's a fun game, though.
right?
I'll have a little puff every time.
Fair. And yeah, never trade when you've been drinking or smoking or anything like that. Please.
They can drink while they're watching you teach them about it, though.
Research, blah, blah, blah. I've made those mistakes in the past, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, as we digress, we are in really good formation here. And on the 4 hour, we're nowhere near, get it out of the functions there. We're nowhere near a sell zone on stochastic. We're almost virtually middle for RSI, and we're just above the median. This is what I've been waiting for. When I said in our Discord, I'm out of the market, I cashed out, and I've been waiting. This is the patience part. Sure, we had a day or two of that little bit of a pump, and then it all crashed again. But we've been on a downward motion the last while. And when you're sitting on the sidelines FOMOing, you're like, this is driving me nuts. This is what we've been waiting for a while. And it feels like an eternity in this space. And the confirmation. And we have the confirmation. So now this is smarter trading. Sure, if we got in a little earlier, or if you played actually our things, you would have been a little tighter. But you'll see what we'll pull up after this. So Ethereum, as we've been saying, has only really missed the cup and handle formation. We've called it from day one of the show, and we really thought it was going to do a cup and handle here, and it didn't. And that was the one part where, for lack of better terms, I shot the bed. But then we drew these lines in ages ago and said we're probably going to gap to here. And I mean, that micro bear bull damn near follows the lines we drew ages ago. We made it up, it's pulled back, and it's held this weekly support, which we said it had to do at the 35.17. And now we have the bullish cross for the micro bull. We know we're on our way back up because of that. This is healthy. This is great. This is exciting. ETH still hasn't had its day. It is going to be slower. Bitcoin and ETH are always slower on the uptakes than the alts, but they're also not nearly as volatile on the downs. So if that suits your comfort of trading, great.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay. I didn't want to interrupt. Supreme had just written something. Do you want me to read it to you? Do you mind?
Yeah.
PPL still hasn't come in.
Yeah.
It's in 12 hours. Not sure if that will have any impact. I'll put it up here again.
Yeah. So CPI is the consumer price index, and the PPI is your producer price index. This is your measure of inflation. So to keep it simple, for CPI, if a Coke costs $1 today and next year the same Coke costs $1.10, we're at a 10% inflation, which is massive. I'm just using that for easy numbers' sake. The PPI is how much does it cost those producers to buy those goods to then pass it down to the consumer. These measure all of our inflation. It has created, like I said, anxiety, for lack of a better word, in our market. But all of the last CPI, PPI numbers, it's been kind of like it's pulled down. Everybody hesitates. And then they've been big nothing burgers because we know kind of what's going on in the world. with our interest rates, inflation, and things like that. We have the elections in the US, so they don't want to raise the rates before an election. All these kind of different scenes in our economy right now are lining up to make this bull run stronger. If you're in an election year, you don't want to crank a whole bunch of taxes out, you know? So all these little pieces um, add to more of the confluence that we're talking about in these things. And that's why also I've been on the sidelines. Yeah, we probably could have got better entries a little bit ago to wait for that, but I want confluence. I want to know more. I want to protect my capital and then go off to the races. My brother, if you're watching, there's a drink for you.
Supreme said the DXY liked it. Look at the chart. LOL.
Yeah, the Dixie liked it. It doesn't surprise me. The Dixie, I think, is going to be really interesting this run and how it also correlates. We'll get into that another day. We're already about to shy 20 minutes in, and I want to go through a lot of entries. But I think, to quote Supreme, the CPI and the PPIs are a bunch of nothing burgers lately. There's no major news that's not like, what's going on in the world economies at the moment, which then would affect the markets.
Well, it sounds like he's, obviously it's in 12 hours, he says, so we'll be aware of it just in case. But
Yeah, PPI is tomorrow morning, Eastern New York time. The CPI was this morning, and hesitation was there, and again, off to the races. Drink. So that's our money market flow of the big. And where does that leave us now? So what I did is I went through our master trading list, and I wanted to find either tokens that hadn't had their due or their run yet. These are not the set and forgets. We're going to get into that probably tomorrow night show. But with all this pullback and all this stuff going on with the halving and the CPI, all the talk, let's look at the data and where are some of these. And I found some cool shit, not gonna lie. And I'm excited because I'm now thinking, hey, we're finding bellies of bears, and these are our beautiful entries. And if everything's going to go as it seems, we may get in some good spots. So I thought, hell, why not? Let's line all these up. So what I've done is I've created a couple of tabs called April Trades, number 1, obviously 8 on this one. April Trades, number 2, and there's only 6 on this one at the moment. Let's dig in. And I'll do them from scratch. So if you're brand new, you're not an experienced trader, this is kind of what I do and how I do it. I'm not going to talk through as much because I want to rifle through probably about 14 of these.
you're not going to tell us what you're doing. We're just going to watch you do it.
No. I'll walk through it. I don't want to entertain, a ton of stuff as to why, how, what's about, blah, blah, blah. I want to get through the actual TA.
If I have something quirky to say, though, I'm going to interrupt you.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that goes without saying.
Sweet.
So I'm going to start out zoomed out on the weekly. I'm looking for the cup and handles that haven't happened yet compared to the ones that have. And you'll see, we found a bunch. And that these can be, I'm going to show you our targets, our entries, because I've been on the sidelines for too long. And I really think it's time. It's time. So just quickly marking weekly areas of consolidation, support, and resistance. and then target areas. Clearly, we're in the middle of this consolidation box, resistance, support, and we're fighting this area clearly right now. Our next level, once we have the retest and confirmation on the top of this box, would obviously be our next support resistance, probably here and here. This is pretty small. I'm just going to jump up to the next. And then I'm going to put one there. So our first two targets are going to be from pretty much current price. We'll use the grid on the background here. I mean, I'm happy with a 211% from current price to where we'll see our major next level of resistance is a 55. So this will be our short-term goal. This will be our second-term goal. This will be our third, depending on what the indicators are saying, will depend on how we can continue. Just because it was that high before does not mean that we'll get back to it. But I do think it's reasonable to get into these levels that we're looking for the short term. And that being said, I'm not saying I want to answer questions if you or anybody else has questions.
Oh, we're staying quiet now. Nobody wants to say a word.
Oh, living bear.
Oh, we were supposed to play a short. So used to
No.
just going right into it.
Oh, I totally am. We can do it right after.
Yeah, if you need a break with all the things you're going to be looking at, throw it on.
And remember, always quick and dirty when we're doing this, like right now. So,
Take a shot.
So I'm going to add the indicators here to show just where we're at in confluence on the weekly time frame. It's saying it's coming down into a buy. It's no longer in a sell. What you have to remember in a bull, RSI and stochastic RSI are not going to always be perfect. I mean, they're never perfect to begin with. But even more so in a bull, when you're above the median and you stay above the median, just keeps going, it's really hard sometimes for these, for lack of better words, to keep up. So on the weekly right now, we have a couple of beautiful targets to complete this cup and handle formation. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be like one of our trades from early in January where we'll continue to watch it and hunt for our entries. On the daily, we got the belly of the bear. We're coming back, indecision. That has a lot to do with everything that's been going on right now with the market. Now on the daily, we can see a little bit of a different pattern for me. I go off bodies versus wicks. So it makes sense that we'll bounce around in here. And it's possible we may go down a bit more to get the next bullish cross. We're not in a bullish cross right now. We're not to the upwards motion. And this is what we're looking for when we want to enter. We want these bellies. Now, obviously down here would have been great. I mean, even here better. But we want to continue. So when we zoom in, this is what I've been looking for. The 4 hours right now for me are kind of where it's at if we understand the daily direction. And we want to see this belly. We came down here to retest this daily, went slightly below it, pulled back above it. Now we're holding this weekly support. And we just threw this in here quick and dirty like, you know. it would make sense to me that this is probably going to consolidate, might get a wick down or somewhere in here before we get to our next targets. And even as a local target, just right here for a quick short-term trade, 8%. That's huge. I don't know what I did there, but I will do that again. So for 1 inch right now, if I'm going to put a couple of bids in, and this is what we've all been waiting for, is this turn in the market. We have it down here saying we're in entries, even though it's been coming down. I'd be a little bit below right now. I'm pretty sure we'll get a wick down to at least there for the first one. That's where I'm going to do my second. We started yesterday's show with there's no such thing as a perfect trade. You're never going to time the bottom. You're never going to time the top. And what we want to do is do the best we can. And if you're thinking, okay, I might not get either of these two, I mean, if our goal is up to here, who cares if you buy right here versus the blue line a little bit above it? But I think we might swoop down a bit. We might get into these areas. It makes sense. We've been into these areas down before. And if you really want to get that stink bid in, as we call it. Ooh, I thought I was there. Sorry.
So you think it possibly could make it, if not all the way down to that weekly
Possibly.
line down there?
Right. We don't know. And this is why always watching the money flow is important. But I mean, if we put a bid here, we clearly hit this price point here. It was support and resistance here, and we're just in the belly. I'm still waiting. I haven't entered any trade yet. And you're going to see as we look at these trading pairs that I've lined up for us that we have a lot of decent entries here. You know, it's the patience part of the game. I've said them as April trades one. We're going to leave these and we're going to ride them out the rest of the month. And if you've been with us since January, we've had, Beam, so many that have been in 3 to 4 digit returns already. And these could be short swing trades, or you can get into them now and just hold them for the next 4 or 5 months. It'll do well. Not financial advice, but yours. Right. So right now on 1 inch and everything going on behind it, very bullish with 1 inch. I wouldn't even care if I bought at the current price at the moment and if it dipped a bit, to be honest. But I think these 3 entries are probably your best points, dollar cost entry up to our next level of resistance, which we know is going to be this daily trend line. And that's our first goal. So there's 1 inch. Ave. Now, when we look at the big picture, the same thing. We have beautiful capitulation, and it wants to get to this cup and handle. And from where we are right now, current price today, to this next level of resistance, yeah, it's all right, I guess. 88%. I'll take it. Not bad.
That's okay.
I mean, if you missed all the stuff prior and you're just getting in the market, not too bad. I mean, what is that candle right now that it's on? A retest. This is missed the pump so far. Doesn't mean the pump ain't coming. I mean, this is a massively credible old token that has tons of use case. and it's starting to show up higher highs and higher lows. It just hasn't been in the spotlight. But what are we looking for? We want to make sure it holds above this. This here is a major point of contention for it right now. It's on the retest, and it's above. It's going to make me do that. I mean, if we do the wick, we'll bring it down to that wick. Support resistance a little bit above. Let's actually pull it down because that's strong when it goes that much back up. Resistance right on the wick level, down to the wick levels. This to me at the moment is showing strength. Let's go. Most likely it'll be somewhere in there. Current price. We haven't curled. We're above the median, has wicked down to the median. All of this is strength. Now, it is in the sell, but we're on the weekly. It's had so much up. How much up? Great question. Thank you for asking. 56% in a little over 2 months. Huge. No wonder it's telling you to sell, take profit. But we have no indication of curl. And with the way the market and the bullish is going, technical analysis, this just wants to pump. On the daily, we missed this entry here, and beautiful. But we just got the spread, even though it's saying on the sell here. There'll probably be a little pullback. On the 4 hour, look how much price action there has been. But in a buy. I'm going to zoom in a little closer to see if we can find, when I was watching earlier, or was down in this. So this is an entry where we've, on the smaller time frames, we've kind of missed it, but there'll be pullbacks. Almost like I have a pullback to there. Same thing again, though. If you don't want to play the pullback game or you don't think it's going to happen, just grab it where it is, hold, wait, buy a red candle. You'll do all right. And I mean, that's a lot up. Makes sense. We'll have some down and then go. If we hit both, that would be a great dollar cost entry between them. Oops. Algorand, perfect belly of the bear, lots of up, having a price pullback. This to me is the epitome of a beautiful entry. We're at the belly. We've had lots of up. And then we've come back at the belly. So right where the price is right now to our localized resistance, we'll cut that middle, 6.22. Price right now from back there. Oops. What was that number? Fine.
Didn't get it.
To our, end of March area target, 25%. Now we might, if money flow leaves, come down a bit. But when we look at this on the weekly, it's like the others. Capitulation, cup and handle. So this here is going to be our cup and handle target at 9542. $300 worth of sip. So let's mark it up and see what we're seeing. And where is the best possible point for entry? Resistance right here. Majority of the price action from support. I mean, we know this will be resistance. We know this is going to be resistance, but we know this is going to be major resistance at this point.
Well, if you found 3 points of resistance, why wouldn't you put that, make that box a little more slender?
It goes back to what I've always said. You can put boxes on boxes on boxes of wherever you want, what works for you, what makes sense to you within them. I'm looking at major. There's not a lot of support resistance here on the weekly.
Well, maybe a little bit more over there.
Right.
Never mind. Yeah.
From here to there. And that to me is where I want to focus, as this is going to be our biggest pullback when we hit it, most likely. Right. And this is roughly about halfway in it. We can go 1, 2, break it up into thirds. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it when I pick those. Because I know it's not just going to go from here to here. Now, sometimes it does. You get these crazy candles. Right? But I'm trying to look at majority. So then I'll drop. Okay, we'll have that one there. That'll be another target right there. And for pullback, we're probably looking right about in there. And that would make sense to me on a weekly. But our goal is, if it does continue to pull back down more, we'll look at what the indicators are saying, but it's looking like support here's holding. Our goal's right there. That's our first major goal.
Seems attainable from this
tiny little perspective. We will take profits along the way, but that's our first major goal, is right here, the top of this consolidation.
And these are for if people want to, trade that way, or if you're a noob and you just want to start the process and have, weeks and a couple months to take a look at it. But everybody else is going to be doing stuff in between until you're ready, right?
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's going to get to these all-time highs from before. Let's just take baby steps to where it could go. And Algorand's
not financial advice. Oh God.
Right. There you are. So on the daily, what do we got there? Look at this on the daily. And I'm analyzing this with you live, obviously, now. And I haven't been really, outside of all my digging yesterday, looking out, too much more into it. I was just looking at what the patterns were saying quickly, to where it could possibly be. And every one of these that we're going over right now are the ones that stood out. They just jumped out and said, hey, look at me, trade me. So we are in an area of retest. We have, a whole bunch of touches on a parallel channel. If we look down, it's been following this trend line and holding it on the daily, our confluence is we're coming right up to that belly. And this area on a belly, for me as an investor, is my favorite. We're in a buy position here on stochastic. We're right in the middle for RSI. We're down near the bottom on Bollinger Band. Now, on the daily, is this the best? I don't know until I zoom in. Actually, hold on. Get rid of those. And look at that 4 hour. Look how we just did those lines. I won't say quick and dirty because I don't want you to be wasted. And how it's come up to them and held both of them, and it's fighting for it right at the belly. That to me is confluence. You know, will we get maybe a better entry in these wicks right here? Maybe, because we've had a whole lot of up and we expect down. All the way up to there, 6.71, all the way down to there in 16 hours, 5%. All right. 100 grand trade, you're at 5.5 grand in 6 hours. I always say don't focus on money, but you have to sometimes make percentages make sense. Right? So if I was to do a couple of entries, I wouldn't be too much lower than the current price. What happened there?
What's that?
I don't know. Not what I meant to do, but that was awesome.
I didn't hate it.
You know, here we are. So when I'm lining these up, this is what I'm looking for. Probably here. Let's make this easier for everyone. Where is this support and resistance from wicks to bodies of past activity? We know there's so much momentum. And we know if we miss it, there's always another trade and we've got a ton lined up. Our short-term target, if we cut both of those and we made our short-term target, that's 8.4%. You know, how long did it take us to go from its height to its low? 2 days. So we're not going to make the perfect low at 11.43. We now have confirmation of a belly, confirmation of an entry with Bollinger, confirmation of an entry with stochastic. 1, 2, 3. Four levels of confluence. Saying probably a good idea. We didn't have those 4 levels of confluence these few candles ago. If we were here, how do we know right now we ain't coming down to here? We don't at this point. It's saying we're at a buy here. It's saying we're at a buy here. But we were at a buy here on Bollinger. We were at a buy at the exact same spot on stochastic. But our micro bear is saying if you buy here, you're an absolute idiot. Because it's 2 lines straight down with big spread. And we know big spread equals price action. Straight down means the price is going down. So now we have that. we can say with better confidence, better confluence, we could at least buy right now here today at the current price, wait a bit, and we're probably going to get to there, not financial advice, fuck, of course, which is still way better than my whole stock portfolio of last year for a whole year. AVAX. We've talked about this, I don't know how many times. This reminds me of Link. Same thing. Avalanche has almost made its cup and handle to here. It's made it to here. It's had its pullback, which we want to see.
And it's healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we want to see. Up 682% to pull back and cool a couple hundred. To then now recontest this next area to here. To here. And Avalanche is, in my opinion, one that's possibly going to break its last all-time high because of the amount of things that are being built on it. And it's mostly gaming. And AI, gaming, DePIN are my three favorite things, like a lot of other people right now saying this finally, of this bull run.
There's a lot of quick down back there.
Oh, well, that's called a bear.
And up. Oh, a bear. What's a bear?
A fuzzy wuzzy animal. Let's do that on the weekly.
I'm going to turn my camera off for a sec. I'll be right back.
No worries.
Oh, Supreme, I know it says, I know it's a bear market, you turkey.
That's why I said fuzzy wuzzy.
Touche, Supreme.
Love it. Intonation sometimes. So let's look at some of the real possibilities of that, what could happen from where we are from a TA standpoint. We know our touches at a point of contention following this line typically leads to a breakout in either direction. Bullish wedge, healthy up, consolidation, healthy up, down. The question is, do we retest and take off, or do we consolidate like this, which can be boring and tie up capital? We're hoping for the breakout. We're hoping for one of these. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But that's what we're shooting for. And on the weekly, this looks healthy. First target, 21. Second target, 38. Worst case, 19. Let's add some confluence just to see. We're down close to a buy. We've got out of the hyper because AVAX has been hyped a bit. Possibly coming down. Haven't curled perfectly straight. Lots of spread well above the median. All of these things to me, very healthy. We've shaken off the critical greed. We're back to regular. I mean, look at that. Bounce right in the middle. It's going to be interesting. On the daily, possibly starting to get that curl. A little bit down. Holding this weekly support. Like right on the weekly support on the daily. So on the daily, makes sense we might catch a wick in here. We have to, on the daily, for strength to continue the forward motion and upwards motion, either settle at this price at 46.97 or slightly above it. Otherwise, we could absolutely pull back down to where this wick was here on this line of support at 45. But AVAX to me, worst case scenario, if you got into it and it's still pulled down, all I got to do is wait it out, hold it, and we're shooting back for these levels. And like I said, quite possibly higher because of how much is being built in the gaming industry on AVAX. And if we go higher than the all-time high, not bad. So where are we for entry? On the 2 hour, we can see we're fighting this area. I would probably put a little lower. I think it's going to go lower here. It's in a sell position here. I would be more wanting to make sure we're not getting right down to these levels, which is possible. But I think 1, 2, 3, and as we've been talking about and discussing with this, is these are for our 2, 3 week trades. And as we've talked about many times, we're never going to time the perfect entry. And that's why I typically give 2 to 3 entries, because if we can catch a couple of them, dollar cost our entry, we're doing better. And not saying that a ton of money can't just flow into the market right now. It can take from here and just rip, and we can miss all 3. Absolute possibility. How about we got a little downwards on those ones there is what it looks like. We're coming up close to the hour. I'm trying to get through all of these as fast as I can. Another beautiful belly on the 4 for cello.
That one's nice.
And if you've been following us for a while, we've had some major hits with this token already this year. It's been great. I think it's still, short-term target for here, long-term target even higher. Capitulation, definitely looking for that cup and handle in this area up in here. And if we could pull that off successfully, which I think we could, the very bottom to the top, I think percentages we could all live with.
Do you think that would be nice for a nice long hold if needed? And then we're going to go in even further.
Because all it takes is a little bit of FUD in the market to drive the price down. Typically what happens, Murphy's Law, that usually happens right after you buy. But we try to minimize those the best we can. And we're at a point on a daily of a retest. And it's been holding this line. This is strength to me. This is strength. We're in a buy position here. This is not a new what's going on kind of a project. You can coin market cap and learn all about it. I'm not here to get into that. But we're looking like we want a belly. And on the 4 hour, especially. And you can see from on the daily lines how we held, dipped below, and then we've even retested on the 4, and we're at the perfect belly, at the perfect entry. So lots of up. This is why I said I was excited on the show, and why I wait for those extra candles, because we know after lots of up, we've now added confluence but we know we're going to get a little bit of pullback after that. So we are probably going to get a better entry from where the current price is to now have confirmation. We're probably going to go the other direction. Whereas, like I said, if we did it back here where it gave us an entry, we would be, in debt. So, and Bollinger didn't give us an entry here. It did here at this point, which ironically, you can see it's damn near close to support and resistance there. And same to the wicks, so short-term target would make sense somewhere in there. And then long-term target, probably double that. And then month target, obviously a lot longer. So if we zoom in for some better entries, critical fear on the 2 coming right up to that's textbook shit.
See, that's what makes me comfortable. That's where I feel, where I go, okay, I can take this, educated risk, guess I should call it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, what I mean is this positioning with the indicators and everything that I'm seeing. This point right here is where I would feel more confident. But then I usually lose out on, small percentage of,
I would rather lose a little bit of percentage for certainty to secure my total capital bag than to risk it for worse, if you know what I mean. And what I'll do is I'll take some screenshots of these and post them on our Discords, or you can pause them in here. I would like to think we'll come right back to this line. Same thing again. It might stop here and just go, and all 3 of these might miss. But we've had a lot of up. I expect a little bit of down. I'd like to think we'll hit either both of these. Not throwing in stink bids because I'm thinking we're now to more of the upward motion. If you want to throw in, another bid down here at this support and resistance, if you catch it, awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. DOT hasn't had its day yet. We've been mentioning that it's coming, and we're coming up on the 4-hour to where I like to see, just like we talked about, that belly. This is where I have that confirmation that price is going in that direction. Right now, I have price saying it's going this direction with the possibility of staying here.
Did you feel that way yesterday about it? I guess we have a few more candles now.
DOT's kind of like linked to me. It just hasn't hit. Like when we look at DOT on the weekly.
So I just thought you said yesterday that now's not quite the time yet, but it might be thinking about another one.
Yeah, probably. We're looking at the weekly, so hard to tell, but you can see we've been coming down, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's had a hell of an up lately. On the retest. And there's so much good stuff built on the ecosystem and things going on with DOT. It just hasn't had its day yet. There's been so many other things in the limelight, from current price to top target. There we are. And there we are. Seems to be strength right here. Look at all that support and resistance. Seems to be holding. On the daily trend. I mean, we can turn that actually into a parallel channel on the daily if you want to just see something different,
Yes, we do.
and we're waiting for this retest in here to confirm that we're coming up to here, which would make sense for resistance because it's a weekly at a quick 16%. Hopefully what did it take to fall from that height? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 days. So hopefully in 2 weeks, we're back up to this. I'll take 16, 18, 20%, 2 weeks.
Would you
Yes.
consider that a W from the very kind of that localized high there? Well, the localized back there.
Like the W's I like to look for? No, I like W's like, right.
That
because
actually keep hitting that.
Yeah, because then we're buying these and selling these and shorting and longing along the way. Right now, we have a wedge, right? Like where we're at is we're up and we're holding this line. Now we need to retest out before we go to here.
Right. Obviously, I mean.
Well, let's add confluence. Oh, we want to see that. We want to see it hold this line, right? So with that being said, let's zoom in. Look at that belly on the 2. And even if we just rode this out for maybe, a few days and we got up to their 8%, critical fear. Oh, that would have been beautiful. Not enough confluence for me because it could still easily come down to here. I'm not that much of a risk taker. Here we have support. Belly. Wanting to go. That's the kind of stuff I look for to trade smart. Yeah, you can go fuck gamble and scratch and win on moon comings if you want. I want to make money so I can travel and buy places and not stress. So on the 2 hour, where would I put my targets? I would probably put one on this line, even though I think that might be hard pressed.
You don't think a wick could make it a little lower than that? Yeah.
For center, I'm actually gonna.
Huh.
I missed a few on the last run, right? And
Oh, that's right. And you're like, it was really just
literally that. There's so many words I could say to how if it was that I won't. That I'm trying to learn from that. And like I said, no perfect entry. And if we miss it just by a little bit, it's not the end of the day. But I'm kind of thinking personally, if I'm doing 2 entries into dot, that's where they are, our localized resistance, and then a retest and off to the races.
Yeah. And it's nice. We're doing this all kind of consistently throughout. So the more you do this, if you kind of get away from this kind of thing, you get away from the way you do this, you could more easily fail. But if you're consistent with how you analyze them.
And that's the importance of the notes that we talk about in our journal. And things like that to really see, this one might be a pipe dream. Where we're at.
Stink bid is a pipe dream different than the stink bid.
Yeah, very similar, to be honest. Same thing, different time. Now, from here, I never know.
Tell me something good.
As you know, I've played this for a very, very long time. It's done stupendously well for me over history. We are in a breakout right now with 3 days left. I really think it's a no-brainer at this point that we'll stay in the upward direction with market. I love when it's quick and dirty and it hits like that.
Take a shot.
We're gonna have to turn these into board games. We'll go somewhere in there just to be. So current price 22, next goal 71, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got into these levels. Not financial advice, not saying we are, but I wouldn't be overly surprised. And it's just constantly been performing. And confluence is there. I mean, it's just been holding this area, tightening. And if we look, it's definitely a flag. Now, it could turn into a bearish cross and turn down, but I say nay because of this. So do I think we can get some decent entries still into Phantom? Absolutely.
You guys, if you're watching on X, I think I mentioned this at the beginning. If you're walking on X and you see something that Hope doesn't see or that I don't see, go onto YouTube and type us a little ditty.
And if you're watching and you're not in our Discord and you want to have access to all of our great mods and more trades than just this, just get in our DM.
Come and hang out. It's like a little brainstorm area.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. So right now, I would be comfortable personally if I hit 2 to 3 of those to continue on an upwards trend versus I think we've shown enough support here. We may wick down below it and we're body down below it for a little bit and then go. But I'm confident that in the long term, any of those 3 entries would be juicy. Fetch. Just missed this belly. But what do I always say? Just like I said last time. Massive up, missed the belly, but it's pulled back. These are the retracements that we're looking for coming up to a bullish cross. All right. And on fetch, this is the 4 hour. I'll just do this quickly on the 4. Do I have a 4 hour trend line? I do. We definitely have, this pattern playing out, which is bullish. Boom, 1 touch, no touch, don't touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, retest, area of support resistance, area of support. And this is the pattern that we want to follow with fetch. And we know AI is a strong narrative right now.
And then we start the psychology of the market trend all over again. Up, up, up.
And we just missed, stochastic entry here, which lined up with the Bollinger, but we are down and we haven't even hit the bullish cross yet. Beautiful positioning, safer positioning to off and go. So looking like we'll still have a little down here on the 1 hour. It wasn't able to retest this line on the 1 hour. Curling on the 1 hour. 2 hour, look at all that up. pulling off, coming up to the bull. Right up to there, that bullish cross. So where do we think we would get decent entry? Let's have a look. Same thing again. This might just rocket from here. So to use that as an example for the show, I'm going to go current price because we haven't done that on one of them. Now, I do believe personally that we will get a better price on it, but I want to use that as an example as you can just buy it here and see where the dollar cost entry goes.
Can you do me a favor? I think that it might even come down. Only because I'm
Lower?
looking at it. Let's just, yeah, like there. Let's throw a little K there and see
Right
if I
here?
might be right about something.
Are you going
I don't
down here?
Maybe, I don't know where you just, can you reset what on earth you just did? Sorry.
I was on what, the 2 hour, I think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe the 1 hour. But down to that green line.
Green line is Kate's entry.
Not that line. That line.
All right. So we have
Tune in tomorrow and the next day and the next day and see if I suck.
on fetch. I mean, we can delete this one. Let's get rid of that. So we still have 3. So give me a minute here. We'll label that as our current. A hopeful pullback. Then you know where this is coming. Kate's stink bid. Here we are. We have our 3 entries on Fed. Love it.
Thanks. You're the best.
My pleasure. All right, Filecoin, 15 minutes over. You can see this belly that I've been looking for on these 4s, the capitulation or bullish pendants that I've been looking for on the weekly. We've already talked a lot about this coin. We've done already very well with this token. IPFS storage fits many different narratives that are going on. Massive up since we've been talking about in January, pullback, profit taking, bullish wedge to hopefully go from here up to our next target. That is what we're hoping for.
That looks like a pretty big percentage.
Let's, oh, she's juicy. Now I am using the Wix-ish on this one because you can see the pull down wick, the pull up here, the wick here, and then the bottom. And just for sake of time, I'll use a more localized trend. And we can see we're on a retest on a curl after taking profits, coming into a buy on a weekly. On a daily, it makes sense. It says it's coming up to a buy. Look at where these are pointing down.
And it
So
looks
to
like there's
me,
going to be more spread in there, though, eh?
it still looks like we're coming at least down to these areas.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I picked there, all that support and resistance here, the wicks pointing down. And just in case it does come below, I'll catch loose. Try to catch those there. You want to add a third and then striking at you there? Right there.
I don't know. Maybe something. Yeah. Did you say in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. All those crazy wicks over there in that support resistance, I think.
We'll cut 3 entries there for Filecoin.
How you feeling? Do you need a short? Do you need a
I
break?
am starving, but I want to get it done.
No, but I mean a short, like just to give yourself a mouth a break.
Do I sound like I need it?
Does anybody have a banana for the monkey?
Oh, lots of
Anybody at the Bunny Wide's house have a monkey banana?
Don't get them started. Let's do it. Here's a quick short. Confluence is when your tools, your technical analysis line up. And when I said I like to do all the technical analysis first and then put the indicators on, because if my TA says this is what I think is going to happen and I flash on the indicators and it all lines up, fuck yeah, I'm in. And the more those tools we have line up together to give you the same info, that's confluence. All right. We're 17 and 18 minutes over. I want to pound through these last ones that we have quickly on Hedera Hashgraph. I mean, we are looking. Ugh, I hate when I do that.
Are you doing this one from scratch, like
all of them?
Like super thoroughly?
No, I'm going to do this as fast as I can, or I'm about to call it quits. Deal. There we are.
I just was trying to make you say quick and dirty, but never mind. No drinking, anybody.
I was talking a deal. I got to get this done. I'm starving, and I'm at their home, and I can tell they're probably getting a little anxious. So here we are. We're showing support. We're in an entry on stochastic. Same thing on a weekly. Like, we're looking for a great opportunity to at least make it to this level, I would think, on a weekly. And so from our current price right now ish to there, decent return. So let's zoom in. We're looking at that belly on the 1 hour. Probably get a wick down absolutely into here. And I think it would be, let's move that up to about there. I think those two entries right now, longer hold, bullish cross, off to the races, going to be absolutely fabulous for H-bar. I will get all these in our Discord for us this evening. Another 4 hour looking like the belly, lots of up, pulling back. And the beautiful thing about when we're looking at a Bitcoin cycle is we really only have to understand. Oh, I'm losing internet power strength here. Don't even know how that just grabbed. We really have to understand what's happening with Bitcoin to understand what's happening with the market. Oh, computer's going sideways. You really learn the quality when you pay big dough for better internet compared to when you go out. Not saying the internet. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see if this works. Seems to be back. Nope. Oh, so that's because I didn't select. So same thing as we've been seeing with a few other things. Lots of up, down, up, down. We just want to repeat this. If I could cut, copy, paste this section and then just put it here, this is exactly what we want to see. We want to see these ladder ups, right? Above the median on all of it. Holding above the median now, entering a buy situation. I have been talking about Link since like back in these days, but it's just behind right now, and so many things run on it. The attention's not there. It's only a matter of time before Link just goes, and then everybody goes, "Oh, I told you so." That is not good. On a weekly, ooh, Link is right at its contention point. And we can see these wicks and straight lines down on the daily. It wasn't a buy. I don't think, from what I've seen from Link to this belly to now, that Link is at a spot right now. The attention's off it. It'll be back. It's just not the time. A tell was a no. 2 left. Still want to see for Tilo. I want to see this curl, because we could easily still go back down to these levels as well. I'll post that with the others. I want to be mindful of time for everybody that's watching what we're doing. But a localized high, nice. Once we get that belly, we did get the entry here. We've been in an entry position for a stochastic for some time. We have support and resistance down here. We still need a little time on this one to determine if this is the belly. But if you've been following along and you've caught a lot of these so far, we have some really good trades here that are lined up in some nice capitulation that haven't finished the cup and handles yet, like so many other tokens.
I likes what I sees.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of digging yesterday. I made a comment on our Discord. Good trading is pretty much 99-95% research. The majority of your time is digging either for DYOR or it's hunting the entries and how the market has been reacting. actually going to move that one to there. I think we should be good with that. Here we are. 1, 2. 3. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the hunt that I found. I will post those for us, for those in our Discord that have been following along the trades that we've been doing. If you're new, you're not in it, you want in it, get in our DMs. If you've been following us and watching, help us out, repost, retweet, all that kind of shit. We just want to spread the word and show people how to use our tools, how to understand finance, the money flow, and make some money at it. I can see my internet symbol is flashing, so I hope it's working.
Looks fine to me. I have a feeling we're going to be challenging these 33 days in the next little while here. So
one last thing, we have been crushing it with that. It's going to be neat because we are getting into trading. Going to do some live swing trading next week when I get back home. In the microcap part of our Discord, there's been a little bit of chatter about one of the microcaps bets, who has been created by one of the founder of Wall Street Bets. I got in a lot earlier than the price at what it is now. But it is one of those shit meme coins that I am going to hold for a while because I was in Wall Street Bets when it was around 800 people before it took off. I have a ton of faith in Jamie and what he does. He only just entered Twitter this past week. I left Reddit a little over 3 years ago because I heard Twitter had better attendees, and they do. So I cannot wait to see what Jamie thinks of this absolutely crazy space we know as crypto Twitter or crypto X or whatever it's called. Thank you for your patience. I'm glad we went a little bit over, shared some juicy research and entries. I'm looking forward to watching everything we just laid out over our next shows over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks to see how these trades do. Tomorrow's show, I'm going to have our set and forget list as well. So on these red days, we'll have some bags that we can just keep adding. If you've been watching the show, you probably already know what they are because we talk about them a lot. STX, Beam, Vulcan Forge, Gala, Matic, Link. There are a few that it is, let's just buy in the red days, put them in a cold wallet, forget about them for 6 to 8 months. That list is going to come up. I'll probably have 8 on a page as well. And we'll just slowly target them on the pullbacks to add to our bags.
And even today, we went over some long-term stuff of where you're at. Even with the long-term stuff, yes, no. So we kind of already went over today for everybody in every kind of, I was going to say age range. You guys are all adults, but you know what I mean.
No.
And in skill.
We are far from adults.
You can be an adult and be a degen. Speaking of degen, are we giving things away?
Yeah.
On 69. So we're doing a giveaway. We still don't know anything about it yet because Pope is away, but
show 69. I haven't decided what yet, but we do have a bunch of prizes coming like we did for the giveaways at Christmas, just with IRL, with your dad's health, and surprises. We haven't talked about a whole bunch of news that's upcoming.
Yeah.
Haven't had too much time to look at the whole freebies living in the living room, but they are coming for you out there. And you need to be following us Twitter, get in our Discord to be eligible for the freebies, and we'll ship them out to you. I think that's all I got.
That's all I got. Hopefully, you'll have fun with the next couple of days with your family and get home safe.
I will take screenshots of all those entries that I just gave. I will drop those into the Discord later tonight. Touch grass, smoke grass, whatever you need to do. But remember, take a break from trading every now and then. Happy trading, and we'll see you soon.
Later, Gators. Bye, Pope.
I can't wait to see you soon, man.
Me too.